Oh, Jerry, that log. Rose. Thanks. Thanks, I'm new to all this. I'll be okay with your baby. Thanks for trusting me with it. It's okay, nobody's waiting for us.
You know how to do the modes?
Yeah. Hello Ride On people, so you join me on this glorious Easter weekend. I'm out with my homies. I think we've got 12 or 13 of us on the ride today that I'm leading. We're in the Georgia mountains and we just had a fantastic lunch at a place called Bleu Canoe, and I am out on the brand new 2024 BMW R1300GS. Now, you lucky people in Europe, you've had this bike 5 or 6 months, but they are just starting to arrive on these shores here, and this is one of the first ones in the country. It is the option 719 Paramonta, and this bike is the top of the range. It's got beautiful metallic green paintwork with the gold yellow graphics. This particular bike has the gold lace spoked wheels and has everything. This one has the premium pack, it has the comfort pack, it has the automatic ride height adjuster that raises the suspension when you're going along and lowers it when you come to a stop, and it has heated seats, heated grips, blind spot monitoring, active cruise control, and all of that good stuff, including probably the best TFT on any current bike, and including the new racy graphics in this sport mode, as you can see here. Or actually this is road mode, but it's actually got the sport sort of depiction up, in terms of it's like the rev counter is dominating the odometer. And you know, you've all read about this, you've all seen the reviews, so I'm just giving you my first impressions of what I think about the bike itself. And I am had 3 Tiger 1200s, I've had 3 Multistrada Ducatis, and I've had 4 BMW GS/GSAs, so probably fairly well qualified to know what a big fast adventure bike should feel like. And this one is absolutely top drawer, there's no question about that. It's probably the you know, the ultimate all-rounder in the category. There's still times when the top end power of the Ducati and ultimate handling might be a tad better, or you know, the Tiger's low down grunt is very strong, although on paper this is the leader, produces the most torque at the lowest revs, and this is also claimed in its base form to be the lightest bike in its class now, and I would definitely say it feels very agile. You can see how tight and twisty these roads are. Typically in second gear here for a lot of these. It never really comes out on camera, but you know, we're doing like 40 miles an hour second gear with very tight 90-degree bends here, and this just laps it up as though it's a sport bike. There are some things I would say are definitely class leading. I would say the build quality, its drive shaft being shaft drive, it's that little bit more refined and smoother than and lighter feeling than the Triumph, and I've owned the current Triumph Tiger, and I would say that the low down fueling power delivery is sublime. It's the best in class. There's no doubt in my mind. You don't get any of the kind of sudden surging and hunting that the Ducati is prone to do. You don't get any of the kind of on-off of the Triumph, although the Triumph's very, very good as well, I have to say. And but this is absolutely so pussycat perfect. It's a beautiful day today, but if it was pouring with rain and soaking wet, I would still be extremely confident chucking this thing about, because it's so smooth in the way in which it delivers. It flatters your riding. This comes with Tourance tyres, and I haven't ridden this bike in the wet, but in the dry I can say that it grips great. It feels very similar to Road 6s, which I currently have on both my Street Triple RS and Multistrada V4S, and they feel very nice. You know, the areas that have really improved compared with the old bike, if you're a current owner and it's kind of time to change and you're thinking about is it worthwhile, I would say agility is far, far better. The amount of counter steering you have to use to get the bike through the bends is far less. It's very, very agile. It feels very much like a naked middleweight in that respect, and I'm serious there. It's really, really easy to throw this thing through the bends. It's a joy, and actually the ride quality is sublime as well. So in certain situations, I would say like a road I'm on like here, I'd actually probably put it best in class when it comes to handling around here, because it's so usable in that power delivery is smooth. The brakes, which I haven't mentioned yet, are also top draw, very, very strong, very powerful, can be smoothly trail brake to the apex, and the grunt, of course, legendary with the Boxer Twin, comes on very nice and strong and smoothly. I wouldn't say it's you know, any stretch of imagination violent. It's not like a Street Fighter V4, that grunt from the torque when it kicks in, but it is meaty, as meaty as you really could ever wish for on the road. It seems to be ample. And as I say, the ride quality is exceptionally good. So the seat feels nice, but I would say even if the seat was distinctly average, it would be masked by the fact that the ride quality is so good. Part of that, of course, is the new telly lever, which is revised for this year. It's stiffer, lighter, stronger, all that good stuff. And you know, separating the steering from braking forces there, or you know, damping forces, really helps with ride quality. Fantastic when you hit potholes and stuff like that, and you don't get the jarring through your wrists and stuff. And so I really, really like that. Of course, it will ultimately rob you slightly of a little bit of feel, but you soon get used to that, and I really don't think that's much of a problem. And overall, as a compromise, I would prefer to have it than not have it. The back end just feels like a very perfectly adjusted chain, and that's probably the best compliment I could give it, really, because it's very lightweight, it's very slick, and just feels extremely nice. And yeah, it's a winner. I mean, what else can I tell you? Well, on here we have the burger button, as people are starting to call it, which I'm sure you've seen, where you can kind of, it's like a hotkey for your favourites, and you can make that point to your favourite things that you want in the menus. Most people are going to use that for a quick shortcut to the heated grips and the electronic windshield, no doubt. And why not? I wonder what Jerry's got it set up for. I need to keep my eye on the road for this corner, because these tar snakes are a little bit slippery here. So yeah, he's got it. I'm not sure what he's got it set up for, actually. Oh, he's got it set up for the automatic cruise control. I'm going to go down to the windscreen, I think. Go to windscreen, and then I think I can operate that up and down. So I need to keep my eyes on the road and not familiar with this bike, and the road surface is a bit crappy here, but there we go with the screen. I think it's fully up, and now I can go down, and that's fully down. A lot noisier. I'm sure you can hear that on the camera. A lot noisier. I'll put it back up again. Nice smooth airflow with the screen up. Obviously we're not doing freeway speeds, but you know, it is pretty nice, I have to say. And over here we've got the mode buttons. We're in road. I think we can go. Ooh, slipped a little bit there on the. Slipped a little bit on the tar snake there. That's what the locals here call these this overbanding, this mastic stuff that's pretty horrible. Change that dynamic pro. Let's put in dynamic pro. That'll work. Shut the throttle, put in the clutch. Now we're in dynamic pro. Alright. So probably not the ideal mode given the tar snakes, but there's a little bit here where they we have no tar snakes. That will probably be a good thing. A very good thing. So bars seem to feel a little bit wider than I remember. Maybe it's just that I haven't been on a GS for a little while, but they are very wide, and that certainly helps with the counter steering. And they're quite low as well. I mean, it's still a very natural feeling. The forearms are very flat, and that is perfect for counter steering, I have to say. It is nice. And I don't know whether it's my imagination, but I think I'm feeling the pickup is slightly sprightlier in this dynamic pro mode. In theory it should be less intervention for the ABS and traction control, and a little bit peppier on the throttle response. Feels pretty nice either way. This is a bit dicey through here. Keep it upright, Rich, not your bike. So this bike is about $30,000 out the door, and that's without luggage, but which is a lot of money, right? It's even more money than the Multistrada V4S, I think. It's up there with the V4S Rally that Eric has. I'll tell you what, this is some bike. This is a difficult bike to. Slippery. This is a difficult bike to beat. There's no doubt about that. You know, BMW always build a nice bike. It's solid, and yeah, it costs a lot of money, but boy, you get a lot for your money. A lot of features, a lot of build quality, and a great engine. I mean, this has always been a nice road engine. It's always been a great engine to use on the road, and it's been around and developed for like 100 years, and despite it shouldn't work, just like a 911 shouldn't work, the opposed twin does work. And of course it is way more engaging and characterful than the other bikes in the class. I think the KTM has a little bit of character as well. It's obviously sporty, and it's a V-twin. The Multi V4, it's really all happening at the top end. When you rev that bike really hard, it feels great, it sounds great, but low down, a lot of people think it's pretty smooth, but I think it's pretty rough, and it sounds not great. It sounds like a bag of spanners, my Ducati, and it's not just my Ducati. I think they all sound a bit like that. Having said that, at a standstill and tick over, this sounds a little bit more rough than the 1250, I would say. It's definitely a little bit louder, more engine noise, and I wouldn't expect that because the entire engine now is properly liquid cooled. It's not used to be partially liquid cooled with the 1250. With the 1300 it is fully liquid cooled now, and that is a great thing in terms of reducing heat off the rider, keeping the engine cooler, more reliable, and quieter at kind of real world speeds and emission speeds. It feels quieter to me riding it, but I do notice at a standstill it just has a kind of louder tick, and it's not in a bad way like this bike's got a top end problem or something like that. It's just the way they are. They're just different. Everything is not the same, you know. And now this is a big 1300cc bike. I remember riding them when they were like 800cc, but now they are big, and yet they've done a wonderful job compared with the 1250 in terms of shrinking this thing and making it feel lighter, more agile, more sprightly. and super comfortable. It's very sublime in its ride quality. I could definitely just you know, apart from having to stop for fuel every 200 miles or so in the real world, I could just carry on riding today and go all the way to the coast, wherever the coast was. If it was 1,000 miles away, I could do 1,000 miles on this bike today, no problem. I'd be tired at the end of it, but the bike wouldn't break a sweat, and I'd be pretty comfortable doing it, I think. So in that respect, if you like munching big miles, or you really want a dependable, reliable bike that you can commute over a large distance on, say you got a 50 mile each way commute, and you like to ride as many days of the year as you can, this would be a great bike. If you want to go up touring, this would be a great bike. If you like to ride long rides at weekends like me and the boys do, that, you know, kind of 200 250 miles, this is a great bike. And in terms of its competition, well, you kind of know whether one of the other bikes appeals more to you. If you like to go off-road, you will definitely be interested in the KTM, and that will be the best bike for off-road. If you want to go super fast and you're worried, you know, you crave a sporty image, perhaps you come from a sports bike but you realise you're getting a bit old and you want a more upright bike, the Ducati is a great choice. And if you want long service intervals, good dealers, and a dependable bike that kind of splits all of those fairly well, actually, in a kind of fairly Goldilocksy kind of way, the Tiger 1200 is very good. I had a few problems with my key fob, and I know other owners who have, but that aside, the bike is very reliable, dependable, and rides well. It's just getting a little bit left behind now in terms of active cruise control and so forth, but it's a good bike if a little top heavy. This is the best compromise of everything. It always has been, maybe it always will be. It definitely is currently. This is a very tight, close group. Every bike is fantastic. It's like choosing between a Ferrari and Lamborghini. You're hardly going to be disappointed whatever you go with. But if you want the best all-rounder that's ever been made, GS is it. It's unquestionable in my eyes. It's the easiest bike to live with, bar 6,000 mile service intervals. I wish they were 10, but other than that, easiest bike in the world to ride, to live with, to use on unpredictable roads and when conditions are poor, and to use on long journeys and even short ones at that. It's the sort of bike that if you have 2 or 3 bikes in your garage and this is one of them, you'll eventually end up selling the other bikes, because you'll just end up riding this all the time, because it just does everything super well. It's not a, you know, it's not a jack of all trades, master of some. It's a jack of all trades and master of a lot, actually. It's a very good bike, and can do everything exceptionally well. And I feel quite privileged to be riding this bike. It's just had its 600 mile service, and Jerry's kindly entrusted it to me, and it's been not only a privilege but an absolute pleasure as well. This bike is so nice to ride, and I would say if you can get yourself a test ride, please do. If you have an existing GS, you don't immediately need to upgrade. There's nothing wrong with the old one. The old bike works extremely well, but I would say that if the time is right to change your bike and you want a big adventure bike, if you decide not to test ride the BM or dismiss it for any reason, I would say that could be a grave mistake. This is the best all-round bike, and it's got the best residual values, and only a fool would bet on the GS not being the biggest selling large capacity bike in the world this year. So alright, so that's my view and feedback. I know there's plenty of other reviewers out there, and plenty of feedback, and feedback is just, you know, one man's personal opinion and view. But those of you that have followed my channel for years and seen my hundreds of videos out there, you'll know that I have plenty of experience of these type of bikes, and if I say it's good, believe me, it's good. Alright guys, have a fantastic month ahead, and I'll speak to you soon. Bridge, Jerry. Pull your knees in. So yeah, interesting. It says 37 left, 39 right, but 37 was on the left side. I actually touched my toes on the left side, but even though the lean angle was less, I probably just had my foot pointing out more. Yeah. Let's stop here. Yeah, I don't know. Why have you got the hazard lights on? You put the hazards on. There you go. Do you want me to do it? Oh. There we go. Thank you. Oh, well, and the GS. GS is amazing. That's the best bike now. No question. That's the best adventure bike, yeah.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.